It's a tough subject, and I have to compliment all of you to still being here and still attentive. It's been a very long day. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about traffic, mid-air traffic collisions. And as you know, for ages and ages in general aviation, we've had that principle that says see and avoid. So look outside, find the other plane that's going to hit you and avoid him. The problem is that the human eye has severe limitations. If I look here at 0 km/h, your field of view is nearly 180 degrees. Accelerate to 30 km/h at 40, you only have 100 degrees left. At 70 km/h, if the dog decides to come on the road, you're not going to avoid him. And if you go up to 130 km/h, something that is going to cross 100 meters in front of you, you're not going to see it and you're not going to avoid it. In aviation, the risk of mid-air collision has increased over the years. Why? Because we have more and more aircraft in the sky. We have more users. So we have, of course, the jetliners, but we've got business jets, single and twin turboprops. We got general aviation, ultralights, gliders, hang gliders, powered parachutes, and balloons. Oh, we forgot the population that is increasing exponentially today, drones and UAVs. Here, this was an eye-opening for me. A Belgian company called Safe Sky, they have an app for iPhones, and I would encourage you to load this into your phone to have a look at the traffic around. They have gathered 3 years of history of traffic coming from ATC, coming from the Open Glider Network, which is FLARM, that gliders use to see each other. And they've used all the applications, the data collected by applications that allow you to avoid other type of planes. They've put all this together. Each time you see a yellow or red dot, it means it was either a very close encounter or a collision risk in red. As you can see, there are 230 of them on this picture. That's 30 days in Europe. That's the last 30 days in Europe. So, yes, there is a lot of risk. This is last Sunday at 1:12 p.m. And you can see that there are plenty of different traffics all over the place. That's the reality. Our sky is becoming crowded. And with it, we have an increase of the risk. And this was not a day where it was really great to fly VFR. Here you can see the radar image. So there were lots of planes and not great conditions. So on a beautiful day, much more people in the sky. So we know that the human eye is not up to the task anymore. Why? Well, there are too many traffics. And we have, for the moment, systems that are not aware of the others. So the airliners and the commercial business jets use TCAS. But a small airplane doesn't use TCAS. We use MODES. Then we need to be aware also that we can encounter hang gliders, drones, and all of these. For the moment, each category of users have their own system that doesn't talk to the others. It seems pretty stupid, don't you think? It would seem normal that we should have a system where we can see all the others. So the key is really interoperability between the various systems. ATC relies on radar, which is kind of an aging technology, to monitor, separate and advise aircraft. But not all users are visible to ATC. So glider, balloons, ultralights, paramotors and small part of general aviation, don't see it. Airliners have adopted ADS-B out on a specific frequency, 1090 megahertz. And that works with TCAS. So for them, the problem is solved. And they can see the majority of the traffic, except those that are using FLARM, for instance, like gliders. So the technology is evolving, it's getting better, but we're not there yet. Multiple standards exist. And again, I know I'm repeating this, but I'm trying to convert you also at the same time. The only way we will increase safety is if we have a global vision. EASA, for the moment, looking at the increase of drone traffic, is saying, oh, let's invent a new system called ADS-L, a subpart of ADS-B, so that manned aviation can be visible to drones. But it's not reciprocal, so we will not see the drones. That's kind of a problem. So our question today to EASA, who's promoting new and untested systems, is why are we reinventing the wheel? Because we don't need new standards, we don't need ADS-L. Why? Take the USA, the largest aviation region in the world. There is nowhere in the world where there is more dense traffic. What did they do? They said, we're going to have all the big ones, those flying above 18,000 feet and flying fast, over 250 knots. Mandatory ADS-B out. For those who fly underneath and the slower ones, we're going to use an ICAO standard, a recognized international aviation standard called UAT, that uses a protected frequency on 978 megahertz. And we will have little ground stations that will receive all the signals, feed the signals to ATC when there is no radar coverage. So they will have radar plus the network input, so they will see the traffic absolutely everywhere. And when two planes are outside of a radar area, ATC cannot tell them, be careful, there is a traffic in front of you. So the airplanes can talk directly to one another, and you will see them on your iPad. And to do this, it's pretty simple. We have done it already in the past. Think about your computers. Some of you use Apple, Macintosh, some use Windows, some use Linux, but today we don't care. We can exchange information from one computer to the other without thinking about it. Why? Because we have TCP and Ethernet. Both technologies invented in the 60s, but it's still the best technology for the purpose. So we have the same in aviation. The little thing you see here, the little box that's a transponder. A portable transponder that transmits on 1090, it does ADS-B out, and it does UAT in and out. So by using these kinds of transponders, we can satisfy ATC, be protected when we're not in a radar area, and we can even receive data from the ground. So we can have weather, we can have radar pictures, we can have lightning strikes in paths, so we know there is a storm, we should not go there. We can have winds aloft. All the weather information available to any aircraft that is listening on that frequency. So that's something that is really interesting. In aviation, we're used to the fact that any box we put in a plane is expensive. You know the joke, the aviation unit is 1,000 euros and you have nothing for less than 5 units. So a transponder is 5 units and then you add the install. So you end up at 7. That little transponder in your mind, how expensive is it? Half a unit, including VAT. 500 euros. So when you fly, to get the safety of knowing where all traffic is, receiving weather information, knowing when military zones or drone zones are active or not, real time in flight, would you invest 500 euros? I think yes. Especially if it avoids you paying 5,000 or 7,000 euros. So, low power ADS-B, UAT, it means a whole new level of safety for aviation, and not only for the big ones, but also for the small ones. And it's also something that all the drone community can adopt at a very, very low price. And then we would see drones as much as they could see us. So the result, well, you see here, I've got all the weather on my iPad. I have the traffic around me. So I'm flying more informed and with more safety. So basically that's what we really need. And we need your support today to your national authorities and say, we need the data, we need the safety. We don't need a new standard that doesn't bring us any benefits. And that has been a problem with Mode S, with FM immunity. Each time we have been on the paying end in general aviation. We've paid to modify our planes, received nothing in exchange. With this system, we will get some benefits and a return on our investment, a return on our minimal investment. Thank you very much. Probably I overshot a little bit my time. Not too bad.